If you've never seen this football boot before, that's okay, because it's 18 years old and came out in 2002. Of course, if you do remember this bad boy, you'll probably recognize it as the Nike Air Zoom Total 92. And as you may have guessed, this is the third installment in the Nike Future DNA series, where Nike decided to give the Phantom Venom Elite an Air Zoom Total 92 makeover, which, admittedly, at first glance, might seem a little bit weird. So today I'm gonna explain you everything you need to know about this bad boy right here, and of course also take it on the pitch so you can see what it looks like in action. Now of course remember that if you want to rock this boot yourself, you can buy it on unisportstore.com from March 27th. But actually, if you sign up to get an email when the boot is available to buy, you can actually be lucky and win a pair right now. So before you can actually buy it. All of that you can do if you sign up in the card right up there. Now, if you haven't already heard about the Nike Future DNA concept, it's basically a series of football boots launching every Friday in March, where Nike revisits some of their most iconic colorways and designs and slap them on their 2020 boot lineup. And so far, we've already had the Nike Venom Phantom Vision 2, which could and probably should have been a one-to-one remake to make as many people as happy as possible. But then we've also seen this Superfly 1 Vapor 13, which to me was absolutely perfect because it gave us this super wicked design from back then, but slapped it on a much better, more modern version of the material. And now the time has come for the Phantom Venom to shine. And no matter what you think about the connection between the two boots, you can't deny that the design looks pretty flipping good. Because here you get that iconic black stripe running down the outside of the boot. You have it chopped up because of the stitchings in the original boot, and actually you also have the little grading on the very toe of the boot where it fades into white. And the same thing goes for the black heel part that is, for the most part, actually pretty well recreated, except for, of course, the outside of the boot because of the taping on the Phantom Venom, but that is kind of what it is, and it still looks pretty close to the original. Of course, you also get the red technology callout on the heel, and actually you also get the Nike swooshes on the medial side. Now, on the Air Zoom Total 92, you have to. Same thing goes for on the Venom, but the placement, I mean, it could have been better, but of course, Nike had a bit of a hard time because you can't take the original swoosh from the Air Zoom Total 92 and place it in the same spot, because that is where the precision power shooting element is. But, I mean, it doesn't look as good as the original, but overall, I'm actually pretty happy. But let me also dive into the original a little bit here, because this was worn by legends of the game such as Roberto Carlos, Louis Figo, Francesco Totti, Fernando Torres, and as you can see here, Rio 35, aka Rio Ferdinand, who by the way has an absolute monster of a foot. This boot is so big. But anyway, this boot, as the name kinda suggests, was made to be comfortable throughout the entire 90 minutes because it had 3 Zoom Air pods, 1 in the heel and 2 in the front of the boot. It was also designed with this KNG 100 synthetic leather material that not only was very lightweight, but also less water absorbing than normal leather was, making the boot less heavy and thus more comfortable to wear. Of course, that KNG 100 material also usually had this first touch little sticky stripes material on the boot to give you a bit more grip. Now, Rio's boot for some reason doesn't have that, but it was usually on there. Then it had a large clean striking surface because of the asymmetrical lacing, and those laces were covered by this tiny tongue that was stitched so it actually stayed in place. And of course also it had the Intertract outsole, which a lot of the before mentioned stars actually loved so much that they continued using it on boots after this one was actually discontinued. Another funny thing was that back in the day, this was considered remarkably lightweight, weighing in at 270 grams, which by today's standards, of course, is utterly, ridiculously heavy. But yeah, as far as a remake of the design goes, how good is the Phantom Venom compared to the original Airzoom Total 92? Well, to be honest, I love and adore this boot because this was around the time where I really started getting hardcore into boots and, noticing all the little details that separated the high-end boots from the lower-end models. And to me, this design is just iconic and absolutely beautiful because not only is it very crisp and sharp and just looks really good, but it also just screams high-performing model. And actually, I think Nike did a reasonably good job replicating this design on the Phantom Venom. At least they did as well as they could with what the boots allowed them to do. And okay, they couldn't have the swoosh there, but I actually think that from afar, this looks relatively good. And it could fool some people into thinking that you were rocking these if they didn't know better. And okay, the silhouette might be off. There's no tongue or air zoom pots or intertract outsole, but actually when you look at the two boots from a concept point of view, they're actually more similar than I suspect a lot of people would initially think. And because of that, I think the Phantom Venom was actually the best boot to go with if Nike wanted to really recreate the vibes of the Airzoom Total 92. Why? Well, if we look at the two boots, you have a soft synthetic upper on the original. Check. You have a technology on the toe that allows to absorb less water and give you more grip. Also check. You have an off-center lacing for a cleaner striking surface and a half-covered lacing system. Well, triple check. So is the Phantom Venom Airzoom Total 92 perfect? Well, by no means no, and as I've mentioned, the swoosh placement on the inside is a little bit of a disaster. But for me, this is good enough to really and also bring back some fun memories of the original, and I reckon Nike did as well as they could with the tools and the boots that they had to work with. In other words, this kind of sits a little bit in between these two other Future DNA launches where I'm kind of bummed about the Vision 2s and completely in love with the Vapor 13, because while this might not have been the most obvious thing to remake, I think Nike did a really good job. So if you're like me and you want to rock this on the pitch and reminisce the old days, remember that you can buy from Unisport.com from March 27th. But as I said in the beginning, if you go and sign up to get an email when this boot is available to buy, you can be the lucky one that actually wins this pair right now, so before everyone else can buy it from Unisport's store. All you have to do is go sign up via the link right over there. But before you go and do that, tell me what you think of this third Future DNA Airzoom Total 92 remake in the comment section right down below. And of course, also make sure you've subscribed to the channel with the little bell notifications button on to see what's in the last of the Future DNA boxes. I'm gonna take a look at that Friday next week. So while you wait for that video to drop, you can go and learn how to improve as a footballer in the playlist right over there, so you're ready and top tuned for when football returns after this big lockdown break. So guys, stay safe out there, wash those hands, and with that said, I'm signing off. Cheerio.